talk to the hand. In stride piano, as Willie the Lion Smith used to say, you've got to have a left hand. And we've been getting a lot of requests on YouTube for people that want to know how to develop their left hand. Players that say, well, you know, I can play pretty well in the right hand, but my left hand is just going nowhere. Well, you've got to develop the motor control of your hands to play any style of music, really. I often equate learning music to developing your ability as an athlete. For example, you're better off starting with Little League and moving your way up to the minors before you get to the majors. And the same thing with piano styles, especially with a piano style where, such as in stride, you've got to supply a very solid rhythm and a very full sound in the left hand to accompany that right hand, in case you don't have a rhythm section helping you out. So I'm just going to go over a couple of very familiar patterns with stride piano style in the left hand that you can practice, and practice slowly. As I say all the time, accuracy before speed. You make sure that your left hand can play these figures accurately, then you can build up the speed and get it to swing. Now, some of the more common accompaniment figures in the left hand would be your 10th on beat 1, after beat chord on beat 2, low note on beat 3, after beat chord. Okay? Now, if you notice what I was doing there, some of these I was playing solidly and some of these I would break. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you have really large hands, you can play solid 10ths all over the place. If you have normal size hands, like I do, you can play them in some keys and at certain speeds. And then you have to be inventive. So instead of doing the solid 10th here, if you have small hands, you can break the 10th. Johnny Guarneri told me once that it was, for his small hands, despite what a terrific player he was 52 years old before he could play a 10th solidly. So don't worry about that. Even if you have really small hands, you can invert the 10th, leave the root out, and play 6th. Another important part of stride piano is playing the string bass effect, which is you're creating a 2-beat sound with a low note in the bass followed by an afterbeat chord, and it follows that pattern. So you have the sound that you want. You want that booming sound of the string bass effect to help you out with that. Now that takes quite a bit of work as far as maintaining the proper accuracy and measurement. So I would strongly suggest again that you try that very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that really slowly and then build up your speed. Willie the Lion had a lot of flexibility in his left-hand patterns. He would quite often forego the oompa effect and do single note patterns, even outlining the 10th and the chord. What you call the Dardanella bass. What what that develops is your flexibility in the left hand in stretching that out so that don't have to play solid tenths. You can break your tenths, but play them as single note and develop a pattern like that. You also, when you get further down the line, you can try interrupted bass lines. That's where you actually create a bass melody in your left hand by not following an oom-pa pattern like that, where you create the arc between the low register and the middle register, but you might spend a couple of notes down here. That's another thing that you can practice. So the main thing you want is you want accuracy, and you want measurement, and you want flexibility. You can also try, like a lot of these swing players in the 30s would try, Joe Sullivan, not try, but execute, Joe Sullivan, Bob Zerke, Jess Stacy, and they would do eighth note patterns. It's another thing you could work on. So get that left hand moving, keep the accuracy up, and make it as flexible as possible. And remember, no stiff wrist. Keep that wrist loose and continue to talk to that hand.